Punisher One Last Kill came out, and I enjoyed it. I liked it, particularly because of the amazing action sequence. I thought the first half of it could have been better. Everything they did in the first half, I think they've done before, but done better. But whatever, overall, I enjoyed it. And I think most people did too. But I did a little video last night called What People Think About Punisher One Last Kill. And one of the people who was talking online about it really resonated with me, because it was the first person this girl said, was it just me or was the audio mix like really weird? And I was like, yes. Like, I watched it with Ann and our friend Ryan, and I didn't say it out loud, but while I was watching, I remember thinking, this is a weird audio mix. Sometimes you could barely hear the dialogue. Sometimes like the music was way out of level. Sometimes the sound effects were way out of level. Like, it just felt like kind of a wonky sound mix. Wasn't as bad as like Christopher Nolan's Tenet, but it was noticeable. And the other thing that a lot of people were mentioning was the scene. It's a great shot that gets wonky because of the visual effects. That shot where Frank goes off the building, falling backwards, shoots the guy, but then lands on this HVAC unit. And a lot of people saying that kind of looked like a video game shot. Like it looked that he looked terrible. I must admit, I didn't even notice it the first time I watched it. After I heard everybody saying, I went back to look at it. I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Certainly did look bad. I didn't care watching it, but it was an issue. Well, apparently enough people are saying it. Marvel's taken notice, and apparently they're committing to fix it. This comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter, who writes, Marvel's Punisher One Last Kill mocked for unfinished VFX shot and audio issues. A stunt shot in the John Bernthal-led special is drawing some ridicule for looking like a PlayStation cutscene, while a sound mixing issue has left some viewers struggling. Disney Plus presentation The Punisher One Last Kill felt a bit like a punishment for some fans. The otherwise well-received special has been impacted by an audio mixing issue. A key stunt shot is being mocked for looking unfinished, though there's more to the story. First, fans said the Disney Plus presentation was hurt by audio mixing issues, particularly low dialogue volume, and I can attest that I agree with that. I could not hear a damn thing audio-wise in the Punisher special, wrote one. The surround sound speakers were configured wrong, wrote another. The center channels coming out of the rear and levels are wonky as well. And then, of course, there was the visual effects shot. Now, normally, in a situation like this, you just go, oh well, and you move on, right? Like, what do they say? Great art is never finished. It's only abandoned. Like, at some point, you just got to move on from it. And that's what you would probably do here. But the thing is, in this new world of streaming that we live in, it's still there. And so Disney has kind of, I believe, wisely said, okay, we are going to go back in and we're going to fix that, because it's not done. It's not now been put out in theaters and people paid to see it and now it's over. No, it's still there and it's living there, and they want more and more people to come and watch it. And so they've come out and said, we are aware of the issues and we are going to fix them. I don't think studios should always do that. I don't. But I think there are specific circumstances when it behooves you to do it. And I think this is one of those situations. So I'm glad that they're addressing it. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Guys, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I think it's a really important reminder that no matter what's going on in our lives, we don't have to go through it alone. And honestly, I think a lot of us carry around stress, anxiety, pressure, or uncertainty without ever really talking about it. Whether it's work, family, finances, or just trying to keep up with life, sometimes it can feel overwhelming. You guys know that one of the things I've learned is that nobody has all the answers on their own. Sometimes just having someone to talk to, someone who can listen and help you sort through what's on your mind, can make a huge difference. And therapy can be a really valuable tool for that. BetterHelp has over 30,000 licensed therapists and has helped more than 6 million people worldwide. They'll match you with a therapist based on a short questionnaire, and if you ever feel like it's not the right fit, you can switch to another therapist at any time. You don't have to be on this journey alone. Find support and have someone with you in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's better, HELP.com/Campea. Rob, when you watched Punisher One Last Kill, did you particularly notice any visual effects issues or audio issues? What did you think?
The visual effects, I always look at visual effects and think, okay, they didn't have enough money for that shot, or they didn't take enough time or whatever. But sound issues, when I was watching Punisher, There is a huge problem in the streaming world that really nobody in Hollywood is talking about. And that is the people working in post-production have lost the institutional knowledge to understand how to do everything right. And what happens is there are people that work, there's a whole division of post-production called QC, quality control. And there are people that have to listen and watch every file that gets created because we're finishing shows in files.
QC, my friend, QC.
And the thing is, they have to make changes because so many people that work in post-production don't do it correctly. And every time you have to send it back to QC, somebody has to watch it, and that's a charge. But that's because people aren't doing it right in the first place. A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, has worked in QC for 30 years. And he has never been driven more crazy than he is today because he kicks stuff back all the time. And of course, the people get mad. Like, why are you kicking this back? Well, because it's not done right. And what ends up happening is I'm willing to bet that somebody made changes to especially the sound files. Because here's the thing that people don't know, John. If you're editing something, it's very easy. When you have a file and say it's a 5.1 thing, I don't know if there's if it's 5.1, here's how the file should work. You have the video channel. The first audio channel in 5.1 is your left speaker. The next line is right. Your third line down, your third audio track is center speaker, mono. That's where the dialogue comes out of. The next level is your LFE channel, low frequency. Then it's left surround and right surround. That's how it's done. But what's happening is that people mix those channels. They're working fast. They forget to do everything. And when you're working, now you've got a whole big timeline with all different things. They haven't set their channels correctly. It's easy to do, and you've got to learn to make it second nature. But when you have assistant editors working on things and multiple people, and when you have to get it done quickly, it always falls through the cracks. And there was never a final Q. I guarantee you, there was never a final QC pass done on that thing that went to air. Now, how that happened? It happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens more often than you think.
Yeah.
I remember we were producing a show. Jonathan, you'll probably remember this. We were producing a show for another network once. And QC became a major thing we always had to deal with. Like always, always, always. And it wasn't even a show that like we were shooting. We were just kind of overseeing the production of it. And it was a nightmare. But it's necessary. It's a necessary nightmare. You got to go through it or else your finished product ends up like this.
Well, also, all different countries have different QC standards. And so Germany and Japan have the strictest QC standards. So here's the thing. If you don't do it correctly, and a lot of low-budget indie filmmakers don't do it properly because it's expensive. You have to go in, and that's why when people are cutting things, you have to put your movie up on scopes, and you have to make sure that all the colors are correct. You have to make sure the black levels are correct. They're going to kick it back if you don't, and then you're going to have to pay more money in post. So these things have to be done correctly, and whenever there's a mistake like this, it's because somebody tried to cut corners in QC. And then what happens? They pull it off the air. They have to go fix it. They write articles in Variety, and someone loses.
By the way, they're not pulling Punisher off the air.
But I mean, what they do is they have to swap out the files.
Yes.
You got to take that old file down and no one's going to notice that happened. But you still have to do it, and it's costing somebody a lot of money.
Well, and it's not just the movie industry. Look at the video game industry. How many times have games come out that have been super buggy and they have to release like these day one patches or like they're constantly having to update? Cyberpunk was a nightmare for them before they finally got that game like to properly execute the way it was supposed to run.
I mean, how much money,
all over the place.
How much did that cost the producers of Cyberpunk?
I can't even imagine how much that ended up costing.
It shouldn't happen. But they're trying to meet impossible deadlines, and you have to say, look, we are not ready to go out with this. And then you're going to pay for it later.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? When you watched Punisher One Last Kill, did you guys notice any visual effects or audio issues? I talked to a couple of people who never even noticed anything. I myself didn't even really notice that one big visual effect shot until I watched it the second time, but I certainly did notice the audio. Whatever. Oh, what's that?
I was going to say, I'll bet that shot was an unfinished shot because you get iterations of visual effect shots as you're making something.
Oh, yeah.
So that could have been a visual effect shot that they forgot to swap out.
Yep. I don't think that was intended to be the finished product.
No.
Anyway, guys, whatever you think about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.